Hey guys, so here is part 2 of the 5.5 day 1 notes. We are now going to do log division with polynomials. So our first thing is our setup. So we're going to take the x minus 2, that's going to be on the outside of our division bar, and then inside we're going to have our polynomial. Now, the thing is, with our polynomials, if you ever have any missing terms, you will need to use a placeholder. Like we've talked about placeholders like you guys have in elementary, middle school with multiplication. So it's kind of the same thing here. Now, we look x and minus 2, okay, there's no terms missing, meaning when we think of missing terms, we have to make sure that wherever we start, we have all the terms below it. So here we start with an x cubed, we do have an x squared term, and x and a constant. So we don't have any missing terms, so we don't need to use 0 as a placeholder. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I need to match my x cubed here. And in order to do that, I need to think x times what give me x cubed, okay? So if you want to do this on the side, you can. Well, to get that x cubed, I have to multiply by x squared. Okay, so x squared times x gives me that x cubed. The idea is that we always have to match the first term. So unlike when we did it with numbers, it was okay if we didn't match exactly, but we always want to match the first term in our polynomials because we want to eliminate things. Okay, so now I need to take my x squared. I am going to multiply by x, but I'm also going to multiply by the negative 2 because we have multiple terms here. So I get x cubed and then minus 2x squared. Now also notice where I put the x squared, above the other x squared. It's just great to know because once we actually finish this out and we're at the end here, then we know we're finished, okay? Okay, so now just like we did with the numbers, we are going to subtract. Now this is why we had to learn how to subtract polynomials. Now be careful, when we are doing this, you need to distribute that subtraction sign. So I'm going to change this into a plus, and then everything changes their signs. So the x cubed becomes negative, and the 2x squared becomes positive. Now notice what happens. My x cubes, they cancel out. That should always happen. So your first term should always cancel out. So you want to always match the first terms, and then the first term should always cancel. Now we combine our 5x squared and the 2x squared, so that gives us 7x squared. And then we bring down the next term, which is going to be minus 7x, okay? And we want to bring down the 2 as well. Okay, now our new thing is we need to match this 7x squared. So we need to think x times what gives us 7x squared? Well, first of all, the number will have to be a 7, okay? So it's a plus. And then to get x times x, or to get x to x squared, we need to multiply by an x. So this is going to be 7x. So we have 7x squared. Now this time what I need to do is I'm going to take my 7x and multiply by both terms. So I'm going to take 7, multiply by the 2, multiply by the x. Okay? And this should be, 7x there. Thank you. Okay. So from there, then I do 7x minus 2, so that gives me negative 14x. And now I subtract. Okay, that subtraction becomes a plus. My 7x squared becomes negative, and my 14x becomes positive. Now notice what happens with my 7x squares. They cancel out, as they should. And now I combine my 14x and my minus 7x. And that's going to give me 7x. And then I do need to bring down that 2, so the plus 2. Okay, so now we need to see, can x go into 7x? Yes, it can. So we have to think, okay, x times what gives us 7x? Well, We already have the x, so the only thing is left is the plus 7. So notice that we're at the end here, right? And we get our constant. That's when we kind of know that we're going to be finished, and whatever is left over is going to be our remainder, okay? So now we take our 7, and we're going to multiply it by the x in -2. So I take 7 multiplied by the x in -2. So that gives me 7x. And then minus 14. So once again, I need to subtract. So I change my subtraction into an addition sign, and I distribute that to the terms behind it. So you basically just change the signs. Okay, so our first terms cancel out as they should. And then we combine the 2 and the 14, which gives us 16. Now, because if we think about it, can x go into 16? No, there's nothing that we can multiply x by to get 16. So that means whatever is left over here, that is our remainder. And so what we're going to do is we're going to add that to our polynomial and put it over the x minus 2. So basically, you'll always take your remainder and then put it over whatever the second polynomial is. So then that means my final answer here, just writing it out. So I'm writing out what I had at the top, x squared plus 7x plus 7. I add the 16 and place it over that second polynomial that we were dividing by. Okay. And then this would be my final answer. Make sure you have x squared there. Okay, make sure you guys watch the next part. We're going to once again do another division with polynomials.